Right now on NBC Bay Area News, an extremely dangerous situation unfolding in the North Bay. A large fire burning all day, erupting tonight. Live wildfire cameras show the situation near St. Helena. There are at least 3 fires burning right now that glow in the distance, causing many people to evacuate tonight. Thanks for joining us on the special edition of NBC Bay Area News. I'm Terry McSwaney.
And I'm Anusha Rasta. The conditions on the fire lines are changing by the minute, and within the past hour, there are evacuations in Sonoma County as well. Tonight, crews are up against gusty conditions as they work to protect homes and vineyards. The biggest of these fires is the glass fire, which started early this morning. It's burning east of Calistoga and north of St. Helena, near the communities of Angwin and Deer Park. Flames have already scorched some 2,500 acres and counting. As we said, at least 2 new fires have started nearby.
Take a look at this photo, a terrifying scene overnight. Flames just shooting up into the sky. This picture was taken at Crystal Springs Road. That is in St. Helena, and we're starting to hear about some of the harrowing stories of people escaping these flames. We have a lot to get to, and a team of reporters and meteorologist Rob Mayetta covering this wildfire. Let's start with NBC Bay Area's Tom Jensen. He's been near the fire line since this afternoon. He joins us live right now from St. Helena. Tom.
Good evening. Yes, we're just on the north end of St. Helena, and you can see the glow in the hills behind us. This is the Charles Krug winery right here, and the fire, as you can see, is moving south towards the town of St. Helena. Just a short time ago, it jumped the highway here, Highway 29, and is now burning behind the Culinary Institute, which is just on the other side of the highway, and it continues to move towards the downtown area of St. Helena. Wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour help push the glass fire's southward movement. A CAL FIRE aerial assault that started early in the morning lasted all day and helped save the Davis Estate Winery and several homes along Silverado Trail Road.
And they're coming like every minute, so but the buckets are relatively small, so I'm hopeful that they can put it out.
Dario Satui watched the firefight from a 145,000 square foot castle winery that he started building in 1994.
I tried to replicate everything a medieval castle would have had.
Satui worries about the continued financial harm to the wine industry in Napa Valley from the pandemic and repeated fires.
We're down to about 1/3 or 1/4 of our normal visitation.
He's afraid the glass fire will scare away visitors to his castle on the hill, even though the smoke and the fire is blowing away from it.
We rely only on visitation, and we've done that at both Fee Satui, my other winery, and this winery. So
he and several of his employees are also concerned about their own homes and loved ones along Crystal Springs Road, where the fire started early in the morning. We saw a lot of destruction there, but no burned homes, and so far, CAL FIRE is not reporting the loss of any homes. And even since we've been pulled over here along Highway 29 tonight, a lot of people coming up to us and asking us if we were back in that area, in the burned area, and how their neighborhoods might be, asking us about this glow up in the hills and whether or not any homes have been lost back there. I can tell you there was a lot of concern, at least on our part, for firefighters back there, because when this fire came over the mountain here just about an hour ago, it moved very quickly, and there were a lot of firefighters back there. We're live in St. Helena. Tom Jensen, NBC Bay Area News.
Okay, Tom, you and your photographer be safe out there. Thanks so much for that report. A harrowing drive out of the fire zone caught on video. This right here was recorded by a Napa County Sheriff's deputy helping evacuate those in the path of the glass fire early this morning. You can see not just embers, but burning debris raining down on the road and the cars. Very dangerous there. The trees and brush on the sides of the roads already fully engulfed. The Sheriff's Department posted the video with a warning. That warning, very important here, never wait until the last second to evacuate.
And just into our newsroom, this is new video tonight. One of the new fire that sparked along the Napa County, Sonoma County line. We're still gathering information on this. Firefighters are so busy they can't give us a lot of information over the phone. They got other things to do. But it appears to be around the Bothey Napa Valley State Park. We're going to continue to update this story throughout our newscast and online. Well, the heat, the wind, Firefighters are up against very, very tough conditions as they battle this fire. We heard about 70 mile an hour winds earlier. Meteorologist Rob Maeda keeping a close eye on all of this. Rob.
Yeah, up in Mount St. Helena, we've seen gusts over 70 miles per hour at times today. And unfortunately tonight, we're seeing the second wave now of strong gusty winds arriving. You can see the impact on the fire over my shoulder here. This time lapse shows you not only the wind pushing the smoke close to the ground, but long range spotting very likely right there. You see that behind me on the time lapse? When the winds get going quite strong, it takes the embers, throws them farther away from the fire front and sets off new fires. Unfortunately, this is part of the rapid rate of spread we see quite often in the North Bay as those offshore winds pick up. Let's show you the current conditions outside right now. No help from the weather. Obviously, the winds are picking up. Still seeing 90s out there at 14% humidity. So think about that. It's daytime dry and the winds are accelerating. So that is a top concern. Heading into tomorrow morning from Napa County to that Sonoma County line, notice near Angwin through 9 a.m. the wind speeds actually increase slightly towards sunrise, which means at the same time humidity numbers are likely to decrease heading towards sunrise. So this is a night. If you're in those areas, you're going to want to stay tuned to be ready, be prepared, as that red flag warning will continue till 9 o'clock tomorrow night. In addition to that, fire crews will have a tough time with the heat, likely above 100 degrees on the fire lines tomorrow. More on that and when cooler weather could come back in our forecast coming up in about 8 minutes.
Okay, looking forward to it. Rob, thanks so much. Here's a map now showing the very latest evacuation orders and warnings. The areas you see there in red are under mandatory evacuation orders. The areas in yellow are under evacuation warnings. Again, you can find more information on evacuations scrolling along the bottom of your screen right there, or you can always head on over to our website. That's NBCBayArea.com. For those forced to evacuate, an evacuation center is open at the Crosswalk Community Church in Napa. The address there is 2590 First Street. Again, that is in Napa. As Christy mentioned, more than 100 people are there right now.
Among the places where people are being told to leave is the famed Meadowood Resort. That is in St. Helena. NBC Bay Area Sergio Quintana joins us live where he talked with some who are being impacted by that. Sergio.
Yeah, we were in St. Helena a little bit earlier. We've come up to Calistoga because we've actually been watching a line of fire progress throughout the evening. We keep on seeing flares in those hills. That is, those are the hills that are just a little bit east of Silverado Trail, just outside of Calistoga. For a good part of the afternoon, there were helicopters that were trying to keep that under control, but as soon as the sun set, unfortunately, they had to ground. But of course, in the area through there have been a number of evacuations. It's world famous for wine, and tonight Napa Valley is being threatened by fire. Evacuation warnings turned into orders as the glass fire moved near populated areas. Among the properties that had to clear out, the Meadowood Resort near St. Helena. Staff had to rebook guests at other nearby accommodations.
No, everyone's departed at this point, so we're just getting everybody, all of the luggage from people who are out and about and can't get back onto property, and getting all the employees out.
I just feeling for the firefighters up there in this heat, and they're working hard, and you know, I've been watching the planes and helicopters all day. They've been hitting it hard, so I'm confident they'll get it done.
Paul Asmuth lives nearby. He says the sheriff's department has been good about giving updates in nearby Calistoga throughout the afternoon. Tourists and residents have pulled over to watch the fire in the nearby hills and efforts by helicopter pilots to keep the flames at bay. But the afternoon heat and steady breezes have continued to push the glass fire along. And unfortunately, those breezes and that heat continues tonight. As Rob just said, it does feel like it's about 90 degrees out here, and we can continue to see flare-ups from this line of fire from this line of fire that is in the hills that are just a little south and east of Calistoga. We will continue to keep an eye on this. I should also tell people to make sure that you have your cell phones handy, because there are a number of updates, advisories on your cell phone that are coming through about new evacuation warnings and orders. Make sure that you read those very carefully. They have some very detailed information. Reporting live in Calistoga, I'm Sergio Quintana, NBC Bay Area News.
Warning, fire evacuation in progress.
Okay, what you just heard there was a high-low siren from a Napa County Sheriff Patrol car. This type of siren is used to notify people of evacuations. If you hear this sound, police say it's time to go. As we mentioned tonight, many of the people forced to flee their homes are headed to an evacuation center in Napa. That's where NBC Bay Area's Marianne Favreau joins us now live. Marianne.
Anusha, I just checked, and so far nearly 300 people have come here to this center today. Many of them receive food and vouchers for hotels, and if they choose, they can also spend the night here at this church. For many of them, this is the second time in 6 weeks that they've been forced to evacuate. These 3 cats are no strangers to the evacuation process, and neither is their owner, Chantel Blackburn. They had to flee just more than a month ago when the LNU complex fire got too close to their home in Angwin. Early this morning, the glass fire forced them to get out.
I am actually thankful for the evacuation that we had 6 weeks ago or whatever, just because it was kind of a trial run. I figured out what I needed to do, so I was more prepared this time around. And so I got stuff packed in the car.
Nicholas Wells left his Angwin home this morning with only his cat and a few things.
Pants, socks, underwear, my guitar, and a pillow, some sleeping bags.
Tonight, he says he plans to sleep in his car and volunteer to help maintain heavy equipment firefighters use on the front lines. Nicholas hopes this is the last time he'll be forced to evacuate this year.
Really getting to be too much to bear. You know, it's just too much.
Because of COVID concerns, evacuees who come here to the center do need to have their temperature taken, and they must adhere to social distancing guidelines. Reporting live in Napa, Marianne Favreau, NBC Bay Area News.
Okay, Marianne, thanks so much. So much going on with COVID and the fires. Okay, new evacuation orders are in effect for Sonoma County. These are the 3 zones on the map. People living in the red shaded area, they're being told to leave immediately. That includes the area south of St. Helena Road, west of the Napa-Sonoma County line, and east of Calistoga Road. And then you've got the yellow portion of the map right here where you can see our places under evacuation warnings. That includes the area north, west, and east of Santa Rosa city limits. We'll continue to update this breaking story on our NBC Bay Area app. Remember, it is free. You can sign up for alerts. We're sending out the latest evacuation updates and weather alerts as well.